Thank God you're here, guys, because today we're going to be talking about the reasons why it's great to make expat friends. Now, in our Tuesday video, we talked about how to fit in when you first move to Denmark. And one of the things that was brought up in the comments is that it's often a little bit longer and harder to make Danish friends. So we thought we'd make a video discussing why it's great to start out by making expat friends when you first move to Denmark.
And the first reason why you're going to be having an easier time making expat friends is that they're much more available. Expats are people who've recently likely moved to the country, or they don't have that deep of a friend or family base since it's not where they're originally from. This means they're going to be more inclined to be able to make room for new friends, and also probably they're going to be more outgoing people. I mean, they were willing to get up and move to a new place. That probably means they're going to be more willing to reach out to new people from different places.
Yeah, they need to make friends too.
Absolutely.
So they're going to be very open to it.
And honestly, for us, this is part of why our very first group of friends was all expats. It was other people from other places who were very welcoming to us when we arrived.
And another reason why an expat friend group is a great place to start when you move to Denmark is that making friends with the Danes takes a little bit longer. And we've mentioned this in some other videos, even the one on Tuesday, but Danes tend to go a little bit deeper and take a little bit of a slower time in establishing a really strong friendship. So it doesn't mean that expats are fake or phony, but they are going to be easier and quicker to befriend. And if you first move, one of the first things you need to do is make some connections. And that's why expats are a great group to meet when you first arrive.
Yeah, again, Danes, they've lived their whole lives here. They have deeply embedded friend groups and families, and so they aren't necessarily looking out for friends. Again, they're not unfriendly, it's just they're in a different position than other expats. Another really key reason why expats make some of the best early friends when you arrive in a new place like Denmark is they know the tips and tricks. They've been here before. They know what it's like to have to open a bank account or deal with the immigration service or any of the communa services that you have here. They know how to find a doctor. They know how to find that one thing in the store that you never had to think about before.
Sign up for Danish lessons.
Sign up for Danish lessons. All these things that if you're Danish and you've lived here your whole life, you don't even have to think about why you know or how you know these sorts of things. You've done them your entire life. Your parents did that. Your friends have done this. Nothing is new. Expats, everything was new when they arrived here. And so they're going to be the people that can lead you on the path to figure out all these things that you have to get done when you arrive.
Yeah, and it's also natural. It won't be annoying to them because they've been there and they've done it. So it's a great resource for you too.
Yeah. And they're also going to have insight to different kinds of services you may need. I mean, you're going to be much more inclined, for example, to find a doctor who's very comfortable working in English. Even if everyone speaks English well here, different level of service for people that are comfortable working with foreigners and non-native speakers than somebody who's not.
And another reason, and on that same note, is that expats have been through all of these same emotions. So if you're a foreigner, an immigrant, even studying abroad in Denmark, you've probably been through a lot of the emotions that you can share with other people. This could be homesickness, even expat depression, confusion about what to do. So all of these things are going to be familiar, and they can be a good emotional support for you as well.
Yeah, especially in a place like Denmark where things like seasonal depression are also a real thing. Danes have lived with it their entire lives, but imagine being an expat or immigrant that comes from a more tropical country and now suddenly has to deal with 19 hours of darkness in the middle of December.
Yeah, and it's also just easier to complain about these things, or maybe not complain, but vent your emotions about these things to somebody where you're not insulting their home country and where they grew up. It can be an awkward part of a friendship with a Dane to complain about how difficult it is navigating the Danish immigration system. Nobody really wants to hear about that, but other people who have been through it are great emotional resources for you.
Yeah. Another reason why making expat friends is so important is sometimes you're just going to want to speak English. For us as native English speakers, obviously we're very used to people speaking English as their second, third, fourth, fifth language and speaking it with accents or different levels of fluency and difficulty. But sometimes we just want to be able to use colloquialisms and things like that. So being able to find people from your home country or with your home tongue If you're not a native English speaker and you're a native Polish speaker or a native Spanish speaker, it's just nice to speak your native language when you can find other people and you can just let down your guard a little bit and be able to talk in that way.
Yeah, and sometimes it extends farther than just the language too. Maybe you just want to be American for a little bit and talk about American football, or talk about American traditions or common TV shows that you watched growing up as a little kid that weren't aired in Europe or Denmark. So it's just nothing personal about the Danes or any other nationality, but sometimes it's just nice to have a little bit of time with somebody that understands you inside and out culturally.
And the other thing is that obviously if Danes get together, even though they speak fantastic English, they're going to default to Danish, which is their native tongue too. And sometimes if you're one of the only non-Danes in a group, you can feel a little bit left out when people just naturally switch to Danish when they're talking to each other, and it can be difficult to jump into a conversation. They're not being rude, it's just something they're going to naturally do. If you're with a nice group of people from all over the world, everyone's common tongue is going to be English, and it means that you can be able to fit in without needing to worry about language right away.
And another one that we kind of touched on already is that expats usually have a fabulous network. So they usually, if they've been here longer than you, are going to know not just doctors and other helpful tips, but they're going to have networks that can help you with looking for a job or finding a social organization to join. Expats can be a great resource because they usually have a wide network of other friends as well as professional connections that can help you.
Yeah, and we've mentioned in some other videos too how it can be difficult for a foreigner to find work here in Denmark, and having a network of other expats or immigrants will help them be able to navigate some different companies that are more inclined to hire non-Danes. Again, nothing wrong with how the setup is in that, but it can be a little bit difficult to find work here, and having other people in a similar situation can help you find the right companies that be more interested in hiring you. Another reason why having expat friends is a lot of fun is that having a multicultural and multi-country group of friends is really exciting. Now I remember the first New Year's that we were here, we threw a party for a bunch of other friends who were new to Denmark. And there's something kind of exciting about having a night where you have some Spanish guy pouring shots and a Polish girl's passed out on the couch over here, and just a mix of different people running around sharing the different cultures and traditions as well. It's a really neat experience, and it's kind of one of the real thrills of living abroad, is that you get to expose yourself not only to the culture of the country that you're moving to, but the culture of other people who've moved there as well.
Yeah, and I think as Americans, this is something that we really enjoy because, of course, America is multicultural, but we don't know too many people that grew up in other countries. It's just kind of the nature of living in America. It's a big country, but everybody might be from a different state, but not necessarily a different country. And getting to make friends and connect with people that really have very different hometowns than we do, and different lifestyles and different family setups and things like that, it's just really exciting to have that multiculturalism. So making a network of expat friends will help you to achieve that. And of course, the Danes will come and you will make Danish friends as well, but having, friends from all over the world is really cool. And the last reason that we think it's really important to make expat friends, especially when you first arrive in Denmark, is that expats take care of other expats. And it's something that was said to us when we first arrived, and makes me a little emotional to think about just how many people have helped us in our journey and our acclimation to life in Denmark. Of course, it was a lot of our Danish friends, and that's a big part of it. But there's just something about other people who are going through the experience parallel to yours that really makes it special. And expats look out for one another. And
yeah, not many people in the world have the experience of trying to live in a foreign country with a foreign language and a foreign culture. And so expats know what it's all about. And they're people who are generally going to be more willing, more outgoing, and looking out for others because they know all the trials and tribulations, the heartbreak and the joys that come with living abroad, and they're going to be willing to share it with you.
Yeah. So at this point, we can remind you to like this video if you enjoyed it and subscribe to our channel so you can also hit notifications and find out when we drop new videos on Tuesdays and Thursdays. We usually have something coming out. And to expats.
To expats.
Skål.
Skål.